abatulaba yonna gye muli tuli ku BBS telefina amannya Yandi Siraji Lubwama ow'effumbe era pulogulaamu eno etuusibwako palamenti yaffe ey'ekkumi ekulembera Alitwala Kadaga. Olwaleero tuli bamukisa mu pulogulaamu yaffe Singa Gwe Mulamuzi okukyaza omulamuzi eyawummula nga akomye ku kooti ensukkulumu Profesa Dr. George Kanyeihamba atubuulidde obulamu bw'omulamuzi ng'amaze okuwummula ebizibu byayitamu n'ebirala nga bwe mugenda okubiraba. Tubasaba temujjaawo kalimi kuba bino byafaayo bikulu nnyo. Tetufunako mulamuzi ayogera bulamu bwe ng'awummudde nga ayise mu bizibu bingi, asaze emisango egy'ebyobufuzi omuli egiri mu bapulezidenti, asaze n'emisango egiri mwagambira abantu battibwe. Tovaawo.
My names are Professor George Wilson Kanyeihamba, a retired Justice of the Supreme Court. On the day I fought sanctuary at the Kabaka's palace, the housekeeper and the guardian said, there are 2 policemen with machine guns waiting here. I said, what? I knew that my time had come. So I told one of my gardener, one of the girls, and my driver then, who has also been convinced by some powers to abandon me. I don't have a driver now. So I disguised myself and I went through them. Poof! To Bulangi. When I reported, I said, I have come to seek sanctuary from Sabasaja's government. These people said that Katikiro was in a meeting, so he would see me later. I was there for an hour. When the things delayed, I wrote him a note, SOS, which is very urgent. You know, the Sabasaja knows me. What do we do? Because I'm told you are in a meeting and you are not responding. Some kind person there, I will not mention his name, he said, I know Sabasaja regards you very highly. Why don't you go directly to his residence? I'm sure you'll be safer there than here. So, by that time, my driver had gone. So I called the mechanic, whom I knew, and he's one who, with my gardener, took me to Sabasaja's residence. They immediately opened for me. That's the difference between these people and the Kabaka. I managed to contact him. When I told him the story, he was shocked. So, since they were not guarding me that night, I said, I'll wait here, Your Majesty, until it is dark. Because at the dark, they don't guard me at all. So he gave me his own personal escort, armed. They drove me from the palace to here. The gentleman in charge came here to check whether everything was okay. And then he was returned. He was returned to Sabasaja's residence. That's when I told the whole world that I'm now under the custody of the Buganda government, on the directions of Sabasaja Kabaka of Buganda. It was social media. The BBC picked the story, and my family, a member of my family said, "Dad, are you all right? Why are you being guarded by the king of Uganda and not by the police?" The rest is history. So when I came here, I found there was nobody. Later, around about 9 o'clock, he said, 2 policemen have come with automatic machines, automatic rifles, and they are at the gate. If you are going out, there are no facilities there, either for passing water or later on going for a long call. So, I went there to ask them. The young of the 2 said, I said, "Where do you ease yourself?" He said, "In the residence of our boss." I said, "Your boss? There is no boss here. How can you walk from here to your boss and come back and guard me?" I said, "What are your instructions?" The instructions were, they have sent us here, that you are in danger. Some people want to shoot you here. This is the police telling you. So they said that we should come and guard that nobody comes in for your benefit. So the words they are using surveillance, that we should come here and survey you. So I said, "But for 3 days you are always here. But you don't know my back area. They could pass here on south side. But you have not told me you are here. You don't report here. I would have opened for you to see whether my residence is secure." Then they said, "No, our instructions is to ensure that nobody comes here. And I said, "What about if I go out?" He said, "We don't have any instruction on that one." I said, "What about at night?" They said, "Our instruction is to guard you from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening." For the second time, I ran to Sabasaja and reported to Bulange and to his residence that from now on, I totally don't trust the Uganda police. They are there to get me. I repeat this story. He said, "Yes, my government will be from now on guarding you. And I don't wear at night." He said I shouldn't wear at night, but I'm told that the Buganda government has a way of patrolling my residence at night. So, from there, I ran to Parliament with this young man, can be your witness, and my gardener. Who had taken me. Do you know what was guiding me? An old garden implement. My garden is what he was using to guide me. You can ask Parliament when we went there, because they know me and what I mean to this country. They checked my car, and that garden instrument, they kept it at the gate. Because I didn't have any gun and nothing. Actually, this is I wish there was a filmmaker in this country. It would make a wonderful story. So I wrote it to the Speaker of Parliament. I no longer trust the police. They are intent on harming me. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am seeking sanctuary and the protection of this Parliament. Because I was in a wheelchair, I couldn't climb there. The clerk of Parliament, she came to my, whether she was around, she came, and they handed her that letter. I wrote it to my good friend Orania, the Deputy Speaker, the same message. So I said, I hope you can discuss this matter. But I had been advised by another MP when he heard I was being attacked. And that was Honorable Cecilia Ogwa. She said, I'm going to make sure that we make a resolution in Parliament for guarding our retired citizens who have served the Uganda so well. You can interview her. Cecilia Ogwa. The other person I appealed to was Dr. Miriam Matende, who was indisposed at the time. He will be my witness. Then eventually, to make sure that really everybody knows, I wrote a letter to Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana, the executive director of Foundation for Human Rights. Yes, they had a general meeting. I even sent somebody who turned out to be an agent of the police to represent me there. And he said, came with a lawyer called Aaron Chiza, who was supposed to represent me in all this. They took my books. I donated some books for that annual general meeting. And Aaron Chiza said, I will ensure that your letters are read to the General Assembly of the members of the Foundation for Human Rights. I personally wrote a note to Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana. I said, I am unable to attend for different reasons, but please, can you read my message to all the members? So far, that has been varied. Nobody apparently did anything. So this lawyer, Aaron Chiza, who appears to come from my area, stole that money and my books. I had also given him a book. He had to come here with two other so-called lawyers. I donated the books to them. Nothing. So finally, to cut the story short, my brother, when I came back, again it was in the evening. There was nobody. So the following morning, when this bill came, one younger man said, we have been sent by my boss. I said, who is your boss? I couldn't believe it. He said, and it is all recorded, my boss is your neighbor. I said, my neighbor? He said, yes. I couldn't believe it. I don't want to disclose him, but anybody can guess who it is. Then later on, I asked a relative of my neighbor, who said, so you don't know? There are some 40 or 50 UPDF security men in his compound. My neighbor. That one you can go there and see. Not 2 or 4 guarding him, but a whole UPDF unit. And those 2 who came here, pretending to be guards, were from the same unit. So my friend, you can see where I'm frightened here. And why I'm much happier that it is Service Sergeant Kabaka of Uganda, who is very compassionate and who is now guarding me. I feel much happier and more secure than I have ever been under the Uganda government or the police. This story, which I told, including the cassette, which I made when you were here, second time, is secured outside the borders of Uganda. Should anything happen to me, which is unusual, or I die natural, the story will be broadcast worldwide. London, Washington, Nairobi, and Lagos. Why do I think that is very important? During the February 2016 elections,
presidential elections. Presidential elections.
Sorry, 2016. Sorry. One of my articles were published when the observers here, and the article said, after the February 2016 elections, Uganda will never be the same. Dr. Sewanyana, who I was then patron of Foundation for Human Rights, he called me very early in the morning and he said, Professor, we are in trouble. I said, why? He said, the election has been stolen from Chiza Besigye. He won. He never told me. I said, where is your evidence? I know there were some irregularities, but where is the evidence? He said, I'll do better. And I'll send the international observers to discuss with you what happened. They came here, Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, who led the Communist team of observers. They included Justice Sophia Akufo, the president of the African Court on Human and People's Rights, who had been campaigning for me to become the next president until 2006, when Samuel Mason government punished me for having dissented on the presidential election, and they nominated another candidate who happened to have been a very close friend of mine as well. This world is very ironical. So, His Excellency, the former president of Zambia, Banda, came here together with those. They were accompanied by the presidential protection unit. They came with the government cameras. They took photographs here, there, and here. Those pictures, I think, were confiscated because they have never been published anywhere. But anybody doubting me asked those eminent men, Olusegun Obasanjo, Justice Sophia Akufo, Chakasali and His Excellency Banda, the former president of Zambia. Let them be the one to confirm this story. So ultimately, all this being there, knowing that actually, assuming the police, rather the UPDF people who were masquerading as police are correct, how can I be ever safe when the person who's organizing all these things is next door? He knows how I have protected him in the past. We even met in UK at my former university, where he knows what I did for him. Lastly, I gave one of the reporters, the people who have written things about me, admiring my work and saying I'm a pillar of this country, but especially the peer who co-founded the NRM, together with people like Martin Aliko, President Museveni, when he was in the bush, rather in Mozambique, and others, including famous politicians, they know that. So I am writing a book. I'm always writing, entitled "The Man Who Was Hated, Who Was Loved and Hated in Equal Measures." His country. Please put that down. It is in the office. The man who was loved and hated in equal measures by his compatriots. I have had numerous local and international awards. Last year, I was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Apparently, we were about 370 so nominated. But if you recall, the famous doctor, I think dealing with Ebola, a Congolese, quite deservedly, in my opinion, and I applaud it, is the one who got the prize. We shall always speculate whether I would have received it. Then I was nominated twice to be judge of the International Court of The Hague. I was vetoed by not my government, but one sectarian leader, whom I not mention, who was at that time very high up in the government. President Museveni and Amanya Mshega, then Minister of Education, nominated me to the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University. I was vetoed again, politically, by those who don't want a development in this country. I am the only Ugandan who has held the office of Chancellor, apart from President Museveni, twice simultaneously, rather two offices, founder of the School of Law and Chancellor of Kampala International University, where I stayed for 8 years, and of the founder, first chairperson of Kabale University, where again, at least Basajja Balaba keeps my pictures where they were as a former chancellor. I am told, haven't been there, because I have never been invited again. When the management of Kabale University decided to terminate my service when I was still serving another 2-3 years, and replaced me with my own nephew, Professor Kanyeihamba. It is really, this country is ridiculous. I'm told that the current management, of which I fought for a new vice chancellor by the name of Kwesiga, Professor, her husband being a bosom friend from primary school. And the final management said, we don't want Kanyehamba's name to appear. So they removed all my photographs from all the public places of the university. And I'm told they are now stored safely in the archives of the university. What kind of country is this, my brothers? So, I have told all the relevant authorities in Kenya, one of my greatest friends who I mentored is Patrick, rather Lumumba. He recently came here to give lectures. And he asked, please, can somebody take me to Professor Kanyeihamba? I'm told he's still around. They refused. They refused to tell me that I was available. Another Kenyan, the former Chief Justice, I think it's called Mtumi, he came here. And the people said, don't associate with Kanyeihamba. The government says he's a troublemaker. But let me tell you, you can never hide the truth. And don't worry about what people say about you. Only worry about what God thinks of you. This year, August the 11th, I'll clock 80 years. But many people have been hoping and praying that I would have died 30 or 40 years ago. Nobody is a God. People hate the truth. The truth hurts, but even the highest in the church run away from the truth and hate you for telling it. Kanyeihamba will never change. I want the whole country to know, no matter, the more you hate me, the more you intimidate everybody, the braver I become. If these people whom I call could answer me privately, nothing will ever be written. But when they shy away from me, I expose them. That is how God told me. They said, he is outspoken. He is controversial. He is, what's the other one? But tell me, which leader in history, well known, became a leader who is known when he was not controversial, when he wasn't outspoken? Our own president, he was a wanted bandit. When I was campaigning for him in the UK, I met the Prime Minister of UK, of Sweden, and they said, you young man, you have lived in the UK. I was in exile for long. You should know that this man is a communist who is a pupil of Castro, of Cuba, and the great leader, whom, by the way, I met, of North Korea. He said, you young man, you want your country to become communist. Today, President Museveni has governed this country for over 30 years. And he is one of the ultra-conservative, beloved of those capital countries. You cannot determine history. So finally, let me tell you, why did I run away and seek sanctuary from the Gavaka of Uganda and his government? Many people don't know what role I played in the restoration of monarchies and traditional rulers. They tell different stories in this country. If you want to rise above everybody, think those who you think are bigger than you while you are rivals. It's a culture of Uganda. In order to be praised and given a job, sink those, kill them if necessary. If you read my book, The Political History of Uganda, Political and Constitutional History of Uganda from 1894, when it was declared a protectorate, to the present, which is available. Stories are horrifying. When Idi Amin was president, a friend came and said, I want my son to occupy the office of permanent secretary, this and that. So Amin quite takes it, but that office is already occupied in Uganda. 7 days later, the same man came and said, Sir, the office is now empty. The occupier had been killed. That is Uganda, my friend. Dog eats dog. Man eats man. If you were to analyze the present government, those who hate me are used to be my closest friends. Several are my friends. But being alerted that some big people are against me, I was warned by other generals who are either relatives or friends of mine. And I want to end here controversially. One of those who warned me to guard, because I may be, some bigger people are after me, including what he calls his enemy, is none other than Kanyeihamba. One day you find out why he always calls me uncle. But he is somewhere, I don't know.
He's on charges at the general court martial.
The charges against him. But he respects me so much, loves our family, that he sent me a message, Uncle, be careful about this and that. But what the NRM cannot admit to anybody is that when he finished his studies in the UK, I was a lecturer, came and stayed with me and said, Uncle, what shall I do next during this time? I said, you go and join Museveni in the bush. I'm going to the commission, but they don't want that one to be known. So, my friends, that is the position. The reason I am hated at the moment is I've been making remarks that the NRM should be defeated in 2021.
By who?
So the younger generation, excuse me, you see, are you a journalist? Who defeats sitting president? Who?
The voters.
Thank you. Article 1 of the Uganda Constitution. Power belongs to the people. There is no incumbent, powerful president like Museveni, Gaddafi, Mugabe, the apartheid regime, Hussein, who is never defeated by the opponents, however formidable they are. They are always defeated by the population because they haven't governed the country well. Then when the population has done its bit, then they can say Kanyeihamba. Oh, Moses, we want you to be the leader. People forget that when apartheid, the most formidable regime in Africa, which was based on faith, when it was defeated by the people, Mandela was in jail. Only his wife was trying her level best. When the regime in Rwanda was defeated, do you know where Kagame was?
News.
It was in the US. But people forget. They fear shadow. I have never feared the government of Uganda because I'm going to surprise you. Do you know who am I?
You were retired justice.
People will know who am I, who hold my power of attorney. The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister cannot do that. And the Senior Presidential Advisor on Veteran Affairs, Joanna Katege. I can show it to you. They don't realize that twice I've been kidnapped. And one time the president sent his own personal people to tell these people, what are you doing with our old man? Release him tomorrow. His own doctor.
Kidnapped by police?
By police. Everything I'm saying, by police or mafia. In the government. Not a mafia from Italy. Government in our own government. So what I was going to say, from what Kaifula told me, and what needs to be emphasized, I think he was framed.
On the charges before the General Court Martial?
Yes. And by who? By people who are closest to us, with whom we founded the movement. I swear, and I stand my word, more, if I could convince President Museveni, I would say, Kaihura was framed. He did many things which today I criticize him as the leader of the police. He politicized the police. He allowed mafia to take over some of these areas. But with regard to what he was charged with, even being a traitor because of Rwanda and so forth, in my opinion, and I don't say this one very lightly, Kaihura was framed. What Museveni has said about me, my writing, Ugandans have forgotten that when there was conflict within the Muslim community, and the publics and the other radical elements killed 4 soldiers, I told Kampala, I was what Museveni called his troubleshooter. And he invited me to go and sort it out. I told Kampala, the publics had a technical occupation. I was summarized. I went into the den of publics unarmed. Although the government has decided for me to go with the UPDF, ever since then, the Muslims continue fighting for property, because that's their main cause of trouble. But my recommendations, which I would say our recommendations, of the international conference, of which I was chairman, and Muhammad, the rector of Alexandria University, the oldest university in the world, not just in Israel. He was my deputy chairman. On the Uganda side, we had the late Sylvester Katama and Latu Tunjuru. Those were assisting me. When we went the first conference in Mbarara, one of the supporters of Luwemba, who didn't want our recommendations, stood up and said, does the government and the Muslims think we are stupid? How can he use rather Christians to settle our problem? Professor Mahmoud of Alexandria, who was my deputy in that conference, stood up and he said, you young man, are you a Muslim? The man said, yes, I'm a Muslim. He said, no, you are ignorant. Don't you know that Allah, the Almighty, can use anyone to settle the affairs of the world? Did they ever tell you that it's only Muslims who can settle? The club, settle down. Never had another problem in the Muslim community. So when I solved, I had solved, I was just chairman at Chibudi. That is when the president appointed me the chairman of the Muslim Reconciliation Conference. Then I went to Mbarara. The rest you know. I wrote a book called Reflections on Muslim Leadership Crisis in Uganda. It is a fixed textbook at the Islamic University in Mbale. When Professor Abdul Kasozi, who was a rector at that university, read it, he said all his life he's never read a book on a Muslim written by a non-Muslim who is so sensitive and knowledgeable about Islamic religion.
Abalabi baffe abazze bagoberera emboozi eno eya mukadde waffe eyali omulamuzi omukulu mu kkooti ensukkulumu Profesa Dr. George Kanyeihamba, eno yemboozi gyatujje gimuwulidde, erimu ebitiisa, erimu ebisanyusa, naye tugenda kumaliriza nga tubagamba nti mmwe singa mubadde balamuzi, omulamuzi ono mwandimusaze mutya, tujja kubaleetera ebintu bingi ebisukka wano. Programu evujjirirwa Palamenti ya Uganda ey'E10 ekulemberwa Oweekitiibwa Eddaka Kadaaga nange agiweereza muzzukulu wa Walusimbi Siraje Lubwama, Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale.